Hey everybody, Playtendoguy here, and I'm back with another video. Today's Monday morning, so it's new release day, which is great. And it'll be the first Blu-ray hunt in like 2 weeks, mainly because last week I felt really bad. I had the flu and my voice was completely buggered, but thankfully now I feel much better. So today we're going to go out and hit a couple of shops and do a bit of Blu-ray and DVD hunting. We'll have a look in a couple of supermarkets, we'll have a look on One Below and Poundland. I'll try to get into H&V as well and see what they've got along the way. So without further ado, let's hit the road and see what we can find. And we've finally arrived at Kingston, and the first stop of the day is at Greg's for a lovely latte. Anyway, we've finally arrived at Tesco and onto the Blu-rays, and unfortunately there's no new releases here. We do have a stand for Fast and Furious 9, but unfortunately none available. We do have a Halloween 2018 with a nice slip. Free Guy on Blu-ray, Black Widow, The Conjuring, as well as Nobody, and a few little offers such as Bram's Boy 2 for £5 and The Gentleman for £7. Here's another look at Free Guy, not too bad for 15 quid though. I'd rather wait until it goes on the Disney 2 for 15 offer. Next up is the DVD file, and nothing really much here. We do have a few new titles here. We do have the Fast and Furious 9 movie box set. I think it's about 40 quid, which I think is a little bit expensive. We also have a load more DVDs here, a few TV ones as well as a load of cheap ones. No real big discounts here, unfortunately. A few Disney ones are on offer, but nothing more than that. onto the video game section, and we've got Back 4 Blood on PS4 and PS5, as well as the new Far Cry games, Sonic and FIFA. Not too bad selection here, decent prices, pretty much usual as you'll find for games these days. Onto the Xbox side of things, and it's pretty much the same as the PlayStation, just on Xbox. Next up, they've got the Switch OLED with Metroid Dread for only $329, which is a pretty good deal. You're saving £20 on the game. We also had the game on its own for £40, which is pretty reasonable, as well as the new releases of Sonic Colors Ultimate. Nothing really new here apart from them two, but a good selection of Switch titles nevertheless. Next up is Sainsbury's, and thankfully they've still got their media section and onto the Blu-rays, and it's a usual mix of the same old stuff that we head in, week out. No big discounts here, unfortunately, which is a shame, but we do have Fast and Furious 9 on both Blu-ray and 4K, which is certainly something. Quick look at some of the other Blu-rays here, but again it's the same price here, week in, week out, no real discounts, which really I'm hoping Sainsbury's will do, but unfortunately they don't. Onto the DVDs now, and the DVD chart is pretty much the same as the Blu-rays. We've got Fast and Furious there in the heights, a few Disney ones and a few little cheap ones at the bottom, as well as Game of Thrones Season 8 on DVD for only a £5, which is pretty good. Here's a quick look at the Disney stuff. It's all pretty much the same usual stuff, but they are on offer, which is cool. We also have the Warner Brothers Iconic Moments split covers here. Most of them are about £3 to £5, which isn't too bad. Next up is some more cheap DVDs, and these are mixed with usual suspects you find, titles that come out about 6 to 12 months ago, evergreen titles, as well as a few ones like Tom and Jerry Animated Adventures. We also do have some TV DVDs here, but again nothing really new here. Some have dropped a couple of quid in price, which isn't too bad, but no real big offers on here unfortunately. And the final stop of the day is One Below to see what titles they've got in. I did go into Poundland, but unfortunately it's more or less the same old stock that's been in here week in, week out. One Below is a little bit different. They have recently had a new delivery, but most of it is like the straight to DVD trash that you normally find in here, though there's one or two decent little Blu-rays here. Anyway, that's enough shopping for today, so let's bugger off home and see what I picked up. And we're finally back, people, and it's been not a bad little day. We went to Tesco, we went to Sainsbury's, we went into One Below. I did pop in a couple of Poundlands, but unfortunately there wasn't really much there, so I didn't get any footage. I went in H&V, have a look in H&V. H&V was closed for some reason. I honestly don't know why. Probably they've got power issues or staff issues, but unfortunately we couldn't go in there today, which is kind of disappointing because I was looking forward to seeing what the Arrow sale had to offer. But hey, I can always go in the week, it doesn't really matter. But so anyway, let's go through all the pickups and deliveries I've had over the past couple of weeks. First up is this box. Yep. It says $4.99, it wasn't $4.99, it was only like £2.50 I think. So let me just get it out of the packaging. And I don't really use travel mugs that often, but I saw this one and I thought it was really nice. And for only £2.50 I thought I would get it. And that is a 007 Spectre travel mug. Quite cool for £2.50. I checked online and it's about 15 quid in most places. I don't know how. See that's what it's like in there. You can drink out of there. Yeah, it's quite a nice little travel mug. I don't really use travel mugs, to be fair. I'd rather just use the paper cups that come out of like a Costa or Greggs. But I thought it was a nice little decorative piece for like £2.50, so I thought, get on to the films and that. I popped into the Works in the week, and they've got a clearance sale, and I noticed they had some Game of Thrones books. Now, I've been meaning to get into Game of Thrones, both the books and the TV series, for a very long time. I really want to get the Blu-ray box sets, or at least the DVD box sets, but unfortunately they're a bit too expensive to fully get into. But I did found a few of the books. Now these were priced up at £1 each. Right. So we have A Feast for Crows, which is quite a thick one. A Storm of Swords, Blood and Gold, which was £1.50. And A Storm of Swords, Steel and Snow. I think these two are like one book in one, and this one's book 4. I think this is book 3 and this is book 4. I was a bit confused in the Works, so I had to go online and see what order they were. But nevertheless, I did pick them up, and for £1 each, it wasn't too bad. But I took them to the till, and as these were from like a big box set, and the box set was broken, they separated them and only charged £1 for them. But as they couldn't sell me them, they said, "I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll scan a £1 charity bag, and you can have all 3 for £1." So yeah, all these 3, £1, all 3, absolute bargain. Because I went to Smith's afterwards, and they're charging a tenner each for them. So I got £30 worth of books for £1. So a lot of reading material there. So I'm pretty happy with that. So yeah, on to the Blu-rays and DVDs of last week, and first up we have a film franchise I've never gotten into, though I really want to. The first one's supposed to be pretty good, and the rest of them are supposed to be a bit crap. So trust me, I picked up probably one of the crap ones, and that's Paranormal Activity, The Ghost Dimension. I mean, I saw that straight on the shelf and I picked it up straight away because I saw the name Paranormal Activity. But I think with like the Saw films, I think like the later ones are real bad, so I haven't really got a clue what to expect from here. You get the extended, the alternative ending, and the theatrical cut, so you get about 3 versions of the film, which is not too bad, and there's quite a few special features. I have no idea what to expect from this. I've never seen the original, I really should do, so tell me what to expect from this one. It's probably a load of rubbish, because I think this is like the 4th or the 5th entry in the franchise, but for £1, I don't really mind. Next up is one that I definitely saw in Poundland a few years ago, but never picked up, and that is The New Daughter with Kevin Costner, or Kevin Costa as I call him for some reason. Yeah, I don't really know much about this. I think this is, somebody said to me it's a bit like a film called The Postman, which I haven't seen. It's so interesting enough, and it's Kevin Costner, so yeah, I look forward to giving that one a go. Next one up is a film with James McAvoy and Mark Strong. I can kind of remember this one coming out in cinemas. It's got something to do with Ridley Scott as the executive producer, and that's something called Welcome to the Punch. Looks like an over-the-top action film, so that should be a really good time. Yeah, I think this is a fairly recent film, if I remember correctly. No, it isn't. It's 2013, so yeah. Next up is a film I have no idea what it's about. I just picked it up because it had a nice slipcover in it, and that is something called Geronimo. I think it's like a, yeah, something to do with army, sort of, something to follow Navy SEALs. It, I ain't got a clue. I ain't got a clue what this is about. It's something to do with Navy SEALs. I bought it because it's a slip. There's probably a load of absolute rubbish, but for a quid, I'll give it a go. And if it's a load of rubbish, I'll either give it away or put it in a charity shop. One film that I do know that is very good, and that is with Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone, and that's La La Land. Looks like a musical. I've never seen it, but I have seen trailers of it, and it looks really, really good. So I'm very happy to have that in the collection. I remember that won loads of like BAFTAs and Academy Awards, so it's great to actually have this in the collection, and really good for a quid. And the final DVD from last week from One Below was a film from my childhood that I actually don't have on DVD. I only ever had it on VHS, and it actually came with a really nice glossy slip, and that's Stuart Little. Yeah, Michael J. Fox is a little animated mouse that talks. Yeah, great fun film. It's also got Hugh Laurie in it as well as Gina Davis. I can remember I used to love this film a lot. I wasn't really hot on the sequels, but this one was always a favourite in my household. So it's great to have this finally on DVD and upgraded it. And it's got lots of special features, which is pretty cool. And I went to Asda last week, and in Asda they had one of these films surprisingly cheap for £3, and that is Halloween 2. Yes, watched the original one, absolutely loved it. Watched the 2018 one, really enjoyed it, and I also watched Halloween Kills the other day and thought it was a pretty decent time. But I've heard a lot of people say that this one's quite good and all. This one continues straight off after the events of the previous film, so I'm looking forward to watching this one. It only cost me £3, so it wasn't too bad. Still got Jamie Lee Curtis in it and Donald Pleasance. But from what I've heard, this one is heavily cut because the normal film uncut is like about an hour and a half. This one's only shockingly 79 minutes. So from the looks of it, I'll be missing out on quite a bit of the film in this one because I think they cut out some of the kills. So I may have to look elsewhere to get the full copy of Halloween 2, but for £3 I don't really mind. But anyway, on to the pickups of this week. First up is a film that I saw in my local Poundland. They had it in a box up the top, and they had quite a few copies, so I thought, you know what, give it a go, because it's got Ewan McGregor in it, and it's something called American Pastoral. I think it's like a political film. I think it's something to do with about his daughter going missing, and he has to find her. Trailer looked pretty decent, and it's got a great cast, so I thought, you know what, for £1, it's worth a go. And also in that box, they had a classic British sitcom. Now, really, probably I should have just got the box set because I think you can pick up the box set for like super cheap now, like about a tenner. But I did find the 3rd season of Blackadder. Yes. It's about 6 episodes in that one. Yeah, I think there was like 4 series. I think this is the penultimate series. I think the second one, the next one is set in the war. But yeah. I have seen episodes of Blackadder, but I've not seen loads of them, so I'm looking forward to actually watching this, because I think it'll be great fun. Now for some more One Below stuff, and again, quite a big stack here. We have Dylan McDermott, this dude. He was in a TV series called Hostages. He was actually really quite cool in that one. I think That one also had Tony Collette in, and that was a limited run season. That was really good. And he was also in Olympus Has Fallen, and he was great in that one. So this is called Freezer, yes. Freezer. Very odd. The premise of this film sounds really odd. Basically, this gang kidnaps him and puts him in a freezer and demands like money for him. So then they'll release him. And basically this dude's trying to get out. It looks very odd. It's probably a load of crap. It's only 79 minutes. But it could be a fun time. I mean, this dude is he's a pretty decent actor, to be fair. So I'm looking forward to watching that. Next one we have Keira Knightley and Mickey Rourke in something called Domino. Looks like an over-the-top action film. I've been meaning to pick this one up for quite a while. I think this also stars Lucy Liu and surprisingly Christopher Walken. So there's a great cast there. Some solid reviews as well. So I'm looking forward to watching this one. Should be a fun time. It's nice to see Keira Knightley in a bit more of an action role. And talking to Keira Knightley, she's also stars in this film. That also stars Lawrence Fox, and this is The Hole. Yeah. This is a very, very early 2000s sort of British horror film, I think. Don't really know much about it, but the cast seemed pretty good, and this has been sitting on the shelf in my local One Below for quite a while, so you know, give it a go. You can definitely tell how old it was because the ratings have like different categories there, like for language, violence and sex and nudity. You can tell it's quite an old film. But yeah, should be alright, I'll give it a go. Next up, I did actually pick up Jarhead 3 from... Where did I pick it up? From Poundland on Blu-ray. For some reason, I don't know why, because I know it's going to be rubbish. But I've heard the first one is really good, and I found it in a double pack for £1 with something called The Kingdom. The Kingdom was actually in Poundland on its own for £1, so I didn't do too badly. It's a 2-disc set, which includes The Kingdom and Jarhead, with Jake Gyllenhaal, Peter Sarsgaard and Jamie Foxx. So I'm looking forward to watching that one. I've heard a lot of people say it's a very good film. So yeah, not too bad for £1. Next up is a film with Nicolas Cage, and it's called Next. Yes, it's called Next. Next up is Next. It also stars Julianne Moore, which is pretty cool. Heard it's one of the better Nicolas Cage action films. I can kind of remember that coming out. I think it came out in like the late 2000s, probably about 2007, 2008. I may have even seen it, but it's a Nicolas Cage action film, so it should provide a pretty decent time. Next up is a film I have seen, but surprisingly I didn't have in the collection. It's got a great cast. It's got Anthony Mackie in, Jeremy Renner, Evangeline Lilly, Ralph Fiennes, and it is The Hurt Locker by Catherine Bigelow. Yeah, I've seen it a couple of times on TV. It's a pretty decent sort of war film. Quite gory at times, quite tense, but yeah, I did like it. But I didn't actually have it in the collection, so I thought, you know what, pick it up. I know it isn't the Blu-ray, but for £1, I'm not too fussed about it. This has been doing the rounds in Poundland on Blu-ray, but I'm happy enough with it on DVD, and it's got a pretty nice cover, to be fair. Yeah, Hurt Locker, very good film. Next up is a film that I know is an absolute pile of trash, but for some reason I picked it up. It was the only copy there, and I'm pretty certain it's a fairly recent title, and that is Zoolander 2. Yeah. I watched the first Zoolander years ago and actually didn't mind it, and I remember the sequel coming out and a lot of people said it wasn't very good, but I thought, you know what, for £1, I'll give it a go. It's absolute rubbish. I know it's absolute rubbish, but it could be a good time, I suppose. But yeah, and the final One Below pickup is something called Mechanic Resurrection. So it stars Jason Statham, Tommy Lee Jones and Jessica Alba in it, so it's going to be an over-the-top action Jason Statham-filled time. Jason Statham is always a great time. All his films are a lot of fun. From Crank to The Meg to when he was in Fast and Furious. He always provides a great screen presence. So I'm looking forward to watching this one. I think it's a relatively recent one. I think it's like a 2015 film. Never seen it before, so I'm rather happy to get that in the collection. And I did pop in a H&V over the weekend and picked up 2 titles. I picked up one title because I've been wanting to get it for a little while, as it's currently on a, if you, normally 10 quid versus 4.99 if you buy it with something else. And that is the original 1980s Friday the 13th. Absolutely stunning cover. Really, really love the slipcover. Such haunting, and I love the purple design. Yep, so this was $4.99 with the slip, which I thought was pretty good. And this is the artwork on the front cover, still pretty good. There you go. Never seen it before, but as I'm currently getting into all these sort of old school horrors, I thought it would be a perfect time to pick it up and see what I think of it. I've heard a lot of people say that the second one's better, but I'm looking forward to trying it out. It's actually got a pretty decent cast in it. It's surprisingly got Kevin Bacon in it, which I didn't even know he was in. But yeah, you get a load of special features. So yeah, I'm looking forward to giving this one a go. Hopefully it's a good time. And to get that for $4.99, I had to bundle it up with another title, and there wasn't really anything I wanted until the hour sale went on. But I scoured through the shelves and I actually saw this title, and I've heard a lot of people say it's really good, and that's David Cronenberg's The Fly. Yeah, it should actually be in $7.99. Took it to the till and it scanned for $7.99, but as it had $5.99 on the price tag, they had to give me it for that. This one is a remake of the classic film. I think I have seen the remake, not the remake, the original one years ago. I thought it was a pretty good film. This one's supposed to be quite chilling and haunting. It stars Jeff Goldblum in it and Gina Davis. Basically, he's a scientist, something goes awry, and he basically slowly turns into a fly. It looks like it's a really good, kind of disturbing sort of film. So I'm looking forward to seeing what it's like. I've heard no end of positive things about it, so can't wait to watch it. So anyway, that's all the pickups of the past week and a bit, and overall not a bad little haul. Plenty of titles there, probably a lot of crap there from One Below, but 2 very good horror titles here, so I'm looking forward to watching these. Also got some books and that 007 travel mug, so not too bad. But as this week's the hour sale, I probably will be popping in a H&V, having a look when they're open to see what they've got. So anyway, that's the end of the video. Before I finish, I just want to say that tomorrow night, me and Andy from Forgotten World of Movies will be going live at 7:30 again, where we'll be joined by Movies with James. Fantastic channel, been watching him for ages, so I'm really looking forward to having a chat with him. So join us tomorrow night at 7:30, where we'll be joined by the brilliant Movies with James. So anyway, thank you ever so much for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you could like and subscribe, that would be totally awesome. And as always, thank you ever so much for watching. And until next time, bye.